What it do, YouTube? It's your boy MachineZo MachZody, MachineZo, and we coming back with another react. On God, we is reacting to the swamp stories. Man, this one called Surviving Birdman. It says he's exposing how he abused Lilwayne, tried to kill him, and started a war in ATL. Oh my goodness, I don't know nothing about that. But on the other hand, we gonna get into it right quick. I am the chill life of Zoe, and we gonna tap right into the video.
Birdman says something to the effect of, "Don't make me show you what these tattoo tears about."
That's a crazy snitch question. He like, damn, that's a police ass question, boy. Who you working for?
He pulls up on you and gives you a gun. So he hands you a 38 and says someone owes him some money. Go handle that?
Yeah, come on. Brought me around the corner. Bruh. Point him out. Shoot him.
Damn.
Bitch, Lilwayne, my son, I raised him. He ain't had nothing. I brought him to be something.
At the core of every human being is a desire for power. Now, some of us suppress that instinct and go through life without the need for power or control. Others will own that innate desire and work towards it. But if it crosses their morals, they simply won't do it. But some, a very select few, will let nothing get in the way of their strive for power. Firstly, they will lie to your face and feel nothing about it. And secondly, they'll cross anyone, even those closest to them. And most importantly, they'll even take someone's life and not lose a second of sleep. All if it means that they will retain their control and elevate their power. Often, these select few people will rise to influential positions due to their ability to cross lines that most human beings would never cross. Well, in this video, we take a deep dive into one of the biggest music moguls of all time. A man who made it from the poverty-stricken streets of New Orleans to Miami mansions and Grammy Awards. But kind of like the diddler, there's been a whole lot of questionable activity along the way. Ultimate disloyalty, thievery, attempted murders, truly sick accusations. Today, you will be exposed to a truly evil life behind all of the glitz and glamour. So get ready, because this episode will blow your mind. But before we get into it, let me run the intro.
Hey, yo. So my boy Swamp Stories, we about to get into it like now.
Took advantage. None more than a man named Johnny Williams, an uptown native born in 1920.
Johnny Williams.
Since a young age, Johnny was known as a hustler as he opened restaurants, bars, and a whole bunch of laundromats all over New Orleans.
Okay,
basically, Johnny was a
nigga.
local celebrity. Like, everyone knew him.
Nah, you got it wrong. Basically, he was a getting money type nigga. Salute, bruh.
Especially the ladies.
Okay,
But sadly, he had a serious medical condition.
Okay.
As a child, Johnny was diagnosed with a tragic disease.
Damn.
Doctors would inform him that he's allergic to latex.
Whoa.
No, for real. Johnny's...
We already know where this is going. You allergic to what? That means you allergic to using condoms. Crazy.
Popping out babies basically every year as an adult. Cause by...
You ain't gotta fuck, bruh. Damn, that boy got a whole family tree all under him. Shout out to you, Johnny, for slanging Johnny.
When he was 40, he already had 21 kids that we know of. Well, after getting half of New Orleans pregnant, Johnny decided that he wanted to settle down in his 40s. In particular, he started a relationship with a woman named Gladys Brooks, somebody who was special to his heart. He liked her so much that he actually opened a business for her. He bought her a home on Saratoga Street, turned the bottom of it into a bar and music lounge, and then let her live upstairs. Together, this was a perfect pairing, as Johnny was a business-savvy entrepreneur and Gladys was a popular woman that everyone liked, and they would come see her at the bar. Well, after this kicked off, they began having children together in 1964. First, they'd have a son named Ronald, then a daughter named Kim, another son named Ray, and finally a son named nothing. Yes, you heard that correctly. Let me explain. Unfortunately, Johnny and Gladys didn't have a perfect relationship. In fact, it was pretty far from it. Johnny was an extremely busy person, you know, with 25 kids to take care of and then over 12 businesses to run. With this situation, being a present father or partner is pretty much an impossible task, even to the point where he never made it around to signing the birth certificates of any of his kids with Gladys.
I feel you, Johnny.
So give it.
Johnny was trying to get money to pay for this situation that he created and this situation that he created. He was just out there just trying to get the money. You feel what I'm saying? And the honeys wanted him. He said he ain't got no choice. He said, I'm only human. I gotta lay this meat on him.
their first 3 children together were named by her and took her last name of Brooks as well. Then when it came to their last child together in 1969, Gladys simply couldn't think of a name. So instead, she simply decided to refer to her newborn as Baby. This lasted for quite a while, but eventually the unnamed baby would be named Brian Brooks. Well, despite all this, Miss Gladys and her kids actually lived a pretty good life early on. The kids would be upstairs while she was operating the bar, and if they're...
Talk about. So you telling me this nigga government Dave, if he really wanted to, could be Baby? Shit crazy.
needed her, all they had to do was walk downstairs. And then once they got old enough, they began helping around the bar and actually getting to watch live music every single night. Because of this early exposure to music, all of her children were naturally inclined. But not only this, they were also exposed to successful entrepreneurship right in front of their eyes. So despite being raised in the hood, they were all destined for success based on their direct influences.
They knew some shit.
But then out of nowhere, tragedy strikes for the family.
Damn.
In 1975, Miss Gladys Brooks would sadly pass away due to health complications.
R.P. Miss Gladys, boy. Real talk.
The family was absolutely crushed, and now the kids were left in a devastating situation. They lost their beloved mother out of nowhere, something that children can simply not comprehend. Gladys was their everything, and sadly the situation would get even worse. Because Johnny never signed their birth certificates, the kids would instantly become wards of the state once their mother passed away. This meant that he had no custody of them, and now they were sent off to foster care. The kids were separately sent off to foster families across the region, and this was truly devastating, especially for the youngest. Baby was just 6 years old.
Hell, Johnny, bruh. Johnny, you had to do your thing, but shit. Hell, Johnny, bruh.
Now to not only not have your mother around, but now not have your older siblings, truly sad. While Johnny knew that this was a bad situation for his kids, so he fought tooth and nail to try to get custody, but this wasn't an easy task. Like at this time, how do you prove that these are your kids? They don't have your last name, you never signed the birth certificates, you were never married to their mom, there's literally no proof. So after not being able to gain custody of the kids, Johnny's brother decided to step up. He adopted all 4 children and had them move in with him way up in the remote town of Prince George, British Columbia.
What the hell?
Freezing cold in the middle of nowhere, Canada, but at least this is better than the potential horror stories of the foster system. Well, after 2 years of getting his shit together, Johnny was finally able to gain custody. He purchased a home on Valence Street in the 13th Ward, a nice middle to upper class black neighborhood. 2-story homes, manicured lawns, Catholic schools, an overall good neighborhood. And when the kids weren't at school or at home, they'd be riding around with Johnny as he checked on his various businesses. They were able to closely watch him run his businesses on a daily basis, soaking up all kinds of knowledge. In particular, the oldest son, Ronald, also known as Slim, he was obsessed with money and hustling. Slim was quiet his entire childhood, never talking, but always being observant of everything his father did. He was also extremely patient, as he wanted to fully understand business before trying to start his own. While on the other hand, the youngest son, Baby, he was quite the opposite. Baby's personality was loud, flashy, intimidating, and aggressive. He was a smart kid as well, but he loved everything that...
Look at young Birdman, young boy got the red with the, like the red stain. With the Just Do It motherfucker on Nike, all white. My boy was big suit out there, red shit in the background. Boy wasn't playing.
With the money, not just the business itself like his big brother. So from his early teenage years, Baby was eager to get rich and flex, by any means necessary. Well, that fast forwards us to the year 1981, when OG Johnny gets into a new relationship with a woman named Miss Patricia.
The Snowfall era, the Krenak era. They get it.
Before meeting Johnny, Patricia lived in the grimy Magnolia projects, but once they got into a relationship, Johnny invited her and her children into his home. Obviously, taking her and her kids out of a dangerous neighborhood is a good thing to do, but it wasn't necessarily a good thing for his own children. I say this because her son named Eldrick Wise clicked instantly with Baby. And let's just say that Eldrick was not the best influence. You see, Eldrick grew up in a whole different environment, violence, hustling, and a whole lot of violence. And given this, despite being just 13 years old, he was already knee-deep in the streets.
Knee-deep in them.
And unfortunately, Baby looked up to Eldrick and he began rolling with him every single day. And to make matters worse, he brought him to the Magnolia Projects and introduced him to the neighborhood crew.
This is my little brother. His name Birdman, huh? Yeah.
I'm dead. I ain't gonna lie to you, boy. He showed that boy a bankroll. That's what happened. 13 years old, he showed up to Baby house with a bankroll. Baby was like, man, I gotta get on that. Easy. See that shit a mile away.
Bitch, what up?
He was instantly infatuated, and just like that, a 12-year-old Baby started running with the Magnolia crew. He always wanted to be feared, fly, and respected by everyone, and this was his perfect opportunity. But in this era, even just being fly and getting girls could get you knocked off in New Orleans.
Man.
The formerly booming city in the 1960s was no longer that, not even close. The entire gas industry moved over to Texas, and New Orleans lost half of its population. This was
Shit, hell yeah, they moved to Texas, right on to Texas too. I know H-Town, there ain't too far. But damn, bro, that shit look crazy.
in abandoned houses everywhere, lack of police funding, and pure chaos all over the streets. The drug game pretty much took over all the neighborhoods, and this resulted in a whole lot of turf wars. In fact, by 1980, the small city of just 400,000 people was averaging 240 murders a year. Just small neighborhood crews everywhere, knocking each other down over territory, but also
look at this shit, boy. Boy out here, they out here just doing shit
for no reason as well. New Orleans truly became a city of jealousy, to where if a guy got rich and started getting girls, everyone would try to kill them. These are the streets that a 12-year-old baby decided to jump in.
Shit, you gotta move. Get away from them streets.
Baby, Eldrick, and the rest of the Magnolia Boys began taking
I can spot that nigga from a mile away, boy. That shit funny.
over blocks throughout Uptown. And I know this may be hard to believe, but by the age of 13 or 14 years old, Baby was already running the crew. He was a natural-born leader, and then with the business experience that he learned from his father, he was like an unstoppable force. He allegedly started a drug operation based out of the Magnolia Projects.
I see what it was. They had their little money operation going. Baby came in and made them boys more money they ever made. They said, hell yeah, boy, shit, you know what you doing.
Bunch of little dudes selling on different corners. Well, obviously, doing this in a rough city made him and his guys serious targets, and the rivals, well, they wanted them gone.
Man.
But Baby knew that expanding territories would be dangerous, so he needed a remedy. A remedy of a bunch of young...
Developing a whole army in the hood is crazy, boy. I'm talking about... You probably get some guns and shit you ain't never seen before, boy. Where you get a gun from?
...scouts that are willing to knock someone down just to send a message. He was truly willing to do whatever it takes to get rich and to take control of the New Orleans streets.
That boy wanted to be
He needed
president.
certified hitmen, and this is when he calls on someone that you'd never expect.
Plotting on your family members is crazy.
Bruh.
It's now 1986, and Baby is a 17-year-old New Orleans superstar. He's got money, power, and respect, and everyone looks up to him, but none more than his little brother who he's never met. This would be an 11-year-old by the name of Terrence Williams, one of Johnny's numerous younger children. And even though he's never met him, he idolizes his big bro, based on what everyone's told him about.
Your big brother a superstar. You gotta meet him one day, son. You gotta do that, yeah.
And that day would finally come in 1986 when Baby would roll up to Terrence's mom's house. It's a regular day like any other, and Terrence is at his mom's house watching TV. This is when he hears speakers knocking outside, so instantly he runs to the window and looks outside. Boom, right there is Baby in a brand new SUV with two girls in the back. So the 11-year-old Terrence is excited as ever. Oh,
boy, 11 years old, what you gonna do with them two shorties?
Goodness, my big brother came to see me. So he runs outside all excited, and this is when Baby tells him to hop in the passenger seat. So of course he hops in, and boom, this is when a firearm is pushed to the back of his head. This is not what Terrence was expecting, but now in the situation...
At 11 years old, bro, I think I was on the game, bro. To get done by your older sibling like this, that you know, your half-brother you never met, first time you meeting them, somebody put the fire to your head. What is going on?
Bruh.
Y'all got the right address?
he has no choice but to do what Baby says. This is when he quietly pulls
Oh my
off
God,
and
the
drives
house on
him
the
to a
street.
specific corner. He then hands him a 38 and points to a man standing on the corner.
So he has you at 38 and says someone
I gotta do this, big brother. Come on, man. I thought we was just gonna go to the mall.
Bruh.
I gotta commit a murder. Come on, man.
owes him some money and go handle that.
Yeah,
Look,
come
man,
on.
no question.
Brought me around the corner, point him out, shoot him.
So this is when Terrence, with no other choice, hops out of the car and walks up to the man.
Walk up, shot him to the head, the chest, and in the back, because he fell. And I ran, instead of me jumping back in the car, I ran back home.
Nigga out here creating serial killers.
This is how evil Baby already was. He was willing to turn his little brother into a killer if it could benefit his organization.
Welcome to the
But it also
streets.
goes to show that he has the true mind of a manipulator. Firstly, he took advantage of the fact that he knew his little brother idolized him. Because he idolizes me, I guarantee he's willing to do anything I say just to impress me. And he also knew that because he committed this atrocity so young, he'll get used to it and he'll be willing to do it again.
Oh my God.
And sadly, this is exactly what would happen, as Terrence would become a true hitman for his brother, and if you want to learn about it, go watch my video. He forced his
I'll
little
get into
brother
that
into
one
the
too.
life of crime in the worst way possible. And for this reason, sadly, Terrence Williams would be the first victim of surviving Birdman.
Damn, his own little brother.
He became an integral part of Baby's empire as the Magnolia Boys got more and more violent. In fact, it was so bad that the Uptown neighborhood alone averaged over 100 murders between 1987 and 1991. Yes, you heard that correctly. 100 murders per year in one neighborhood alone, and these guys were a big part of it. They were stacking
Damn,
millions,
self-snitching
driving
at its
fly
finest.
whips, and catching a whole lot of bodies.
Boys just caught strays like a motherfucker. They probably was chilling, you know what I'm saying? They probably was doing their thing. Ain't no telling, bro, but damn, allegedly something, goddamn.
And the worst part about it is that these guys were getting away with all
nigga
of it,
pointing at him like he
especially
the
Baby.
nigga.
In this era, you could literally get away with anything, especially in New Orleans. Like,
Damn.
nobody took the police seriously.
Damn.
Even the idea of getting caught was laughable to Baby. That
Damn.
could never happen. So really, Baby had no reason to stop what he had going on. Well, at least legally, because he still had to worry about the ops putting him in a casket. He was making millions, he had every girl in New Orleans, and he was never gonna get caught. Why the hell would he stop? But Baby always had bigger
Every girl is crazy. Like, damn, nigga save a nigga one, bitches.
and all this was just a stepping stone to get there. He knew that he wanted to do something with music, and now that he had a bunch of money, he knew that he could put something together.
Wow, that's it. Niggas doing anything.
So in 1991, with the help of his
Damn.
highly intelligent
10 years of grinding that Crinac, taking niggas off the midnight. Boy got him a record label, easy money. 10 years of straight grind, straight shine, playboy.
brother, he decided to start a record label, and he named it after his favorite thing in the world, Cash Money.
Damn,
And he
boy got real racks in the mattress.
came up with a logo on his notepad. At this time, independently starting a label at 22 years old was unheard of, as usually you'd have to go to New York or
22?
LA and get put on by a guy in a suit. But
Man, fuck that. We the South. Big stones on them neck. Big rocks in his ears. Oh my God. That ain't even a bed right there, bro. That is all money. That is the ultimate flex, bro. Ain't got no type of mattress, bro. Them all bills, all stats.
and Slim were already millionaires on their own, so they didn't need anyone's help to sign artists and distribute records. At this point, they had the money saved, the record label, but they needed artists. Unfortunately, at this time, New Orleans didn't really have any rappers.
I ain't even gonna lie, boy. These niggas is some geniuses, low key, bro. If I was in the 80s, goddamn born in the 60s, 70s, whatever, and was just live in the crack era, just live in the crack era, bro. This is I mean, this is one like a percent move. You ain't gonna be able to get away with this move that he pulling, cause you know a lot of niggas got locked up, a lot of niggas got shot. You might have been one of the niggas got shot behind this shit. You know what I'm saying? But he the only one that made it out, bro, and he got Lilwayne. That's
It's not any that
crazy.
were known outside the city.
Where you
Because let's
find
be
this
honest,
nigga?
making a good song with those goofy ass accents is not an easy task.
Whoa, bruh. We ain't dissing. You ain't gotta diss. We could do a nice video without dissing Mr. Swamp, man.
So together, Baby and Slim started scouting the city for young talent. Quickly, they discover a 15-year-old rapper by the name of Kilo G.
Okay.
Kilo was known for rapping
Kilo,
in the
first
school
signee.
hallways and rapping in the neighborhood as well. And this is how he got his...
Well, they were really scoping for talent. They probably trying to put that fire on nigga. Hey, who is the hardest rapper in y'all high school, bro? We need him. Making contests, all type of shit, bro. We need to find him. We got that money. We got to put on him.
Buzz. Well, when Baby and Slim got the chance to hear him freestyle, they were instantly impressed and they signed him right away.
Ooh.
Cash Money's very first artist, and they were certain they could make him into a star.
Bro, I ain't even know what he signed up for.
But this didn't exactly happen, cause his first album flopped.
Damn.
And after this embarrassment, Baby and Slim were like,
Nah, brother. This ain't gonna happen again.
so they basically put Kilo on the shelf and began looking for something else.
Damn. Put
What
you
they
on the
learned is that
shelf.
boom bap rap does not work in the South, and that Louisiana listens to a whole different.
So I guess that's what it was. My boy tried to make a New York album down south, but shit, he should have did some R&B or something. I don't know. They wanted some gangster shit.
Tune, a unique genre known as bounce music. This was basically the only thing that local
What's funny is like Birdman was rapping at the time. I hope he covered that, cause how the hell did that happen, bro? Like, was niggas you couldn't find the talent, so you just thought you was the talent? Is that type of situation? I mean, he's alright for a rapper. He like 7 out of 10. He not too bad. Not the greatest, but shit. How the hell did Birdman start rapping, bro?
listen to, so Baby and Slim figured that if we can bring this to the national stage, it might work. So in late 1992, they signed a bounce artist by the name of Michael Pettis,
Okay,
also known as
second
Lil
signing.
Slim.
Lil
Now,
Slim?
Michael is definitely a local legend, but his music did not make it past Mississippi or Texas. But regardless
What the hell? That bit. I mean,
of flopping, Michael would actually play a very important role for Cash Money later on, as you'll see. Well, after going 0 for 2 for their first artist, Cash Money was not going to give up. Not yet.
them boys ain't had no ears for talent, but them niggas know how to hustle. But shit, goddamn, it take learning. You know what I'm saying? You just can't start off hitting. You gotta goddamn crawl before you walk.
So over the next couple of years, they kept signing more and more artists, hoping to get their break.
Money. Sign me, nigga. I make beats.
And finally, they found their gem.
First stars. Who they first?
Straight out of the Magnolia Projects arose a group known as UNLV, and it originally comprised of 2 members, Lil
Hard work
Yacht and
hard.
Tech 9. And from what we know, these dudes were like the original King Von. Bow, bow, bow. Real certified New Orleans headhunters, but also some very talented rappers. They were straight up the first rappers to rap about killing and actually.
That's crazy. He ain't want none of that. He said the bounce shit ain't working. We need that real street shit.
do it. And let me just say that in 1993, rapping about killing someone and throwing their body into the Mississippi
Shout
River
out
was
to
not a
93.
common theme. And because of this shock value, UNLV were an instant success. They took that grimy New Orleans street life and masterfully put it on records. While these guys brought Baby his very first record label success. And
Ooh,
because
that
of
boy was
this,
probably
you'd think he'd
cheesing
have some
ear to
loyalty
ear.
to them. But you knew better. After their successful debuts, UNLV would add another member, a man by the name of Albert Thomas,
That
but
boy
commonly
said-
known as Yellow Boy. Yellow Boy was a very talented rapper, there's
These
no
boys
denying
sound
that,
like
but
five
Birdman
niggas
did
out
not want him to join the group.
Damn.
Not for any musical reasons though, but simply because Birdman just didn't like him. This is because Yellow was a very confrontational person and would never stand down to no man. And as we know, Birdman
2 alphas, boy. He said, I gotta knock his ass off.
liked his artist to glaze him. But when Yellow Boy joined the group, that's when they dropped their biggest hits, so Birdman couldn't really kick him off the group. They were doing numbers and selling out shows.
Crazy.
But that's when Yellow Boy was like, hey, when are we gonna get paid for real?
No, for real though.
He felt like something isn't right and the money's not adding up.
Birdman
And
got
because of this,
new
tensions
chain,
between
new
him and
watch,
Birdman
new
began
ring.
to rise.
He said, we gotta watch that nigga.
My money at, bruh? Man, brother, I can't stand this dude. Eventually, something is bound to pop off between Baby and Yellow Boy.
That nigga one of them teardrops.
It's
on his
late
face.
summer 1996, and today is a very important day for UNLV. In the afternoon, they're booked to have a professional video shoot for their upcoming album to be featured on MTV and BET. This is a huge potential stepping stone for the group, and it really could take them to the mainstream stage. Well, the video is supposed to take place in the daylight with the sun setting over the bridge, so everyone is expected to be at the set by 6:30 at the latest. Baby arrives, Slim arrives, the camera crew arrives, security arrives, but where are the rappers?
He fought nigga late. Uh-oh. They trying to get gone.
2.5 hours go by while everyone impatiently waits for their arrival.
Damn.
Well, as it turns out, Lil Ya had agreed to pick up Tech and Yella from their homes and drive them to the shoot, but unfortunately, he fell asleep on his couch.
Them damn drugs.
Bruh.
Out here missing money. Bro, who is this, bro?
Finally, he wakes up at 8 p.m. and rushes to get ready and to pick up his friends. However, by the time they arrive at the set, the camera crew already went home, and all that's left is Baby and Slim, who are absolutely furious. We just wasted tens of thousands of dollars on a professional video shoot just for you guys not to show up? Hell no, bruh. And this is when Baby makes a strange decision. Instead of confronting the member who's driving, he walks up to the back seat and begins chewing out Yella Boy. So Yella hops out of the car confused, like, bruh, it's not even my fault we're late. The fuck are you yelling at me for? But
he said, lame ass nigga, get you a car. Playboy.
He just continues to rip into Yella, calling him all sorts of names and embarrassing him in front of his fellow group members. Lil Ya even barges in and says, hey, it's not his fault we're late. It's literally my fault.
He said, shut the fuck up, Playboy. This ain't got nothing to do with you, Playboy.
But Baby doesn't care, and this is when it's clear that the outburst has nothing to do with being late. This is just Baby's first opportunity to really pop off at Yella. So Yella gets back in his face and he's like, you're worried about us being late and you owe us a bunch of money? Nah, bruh. This is when the other UNLV members say, hey, y'all need to stop, just fight it out one-on-one and let's get it over with. So Birdman and Yella Boy agree to take it back to the hood and have a one-on-one fight.
Shit.
Everyone heads off separately towards 4th and Dryads, right in front of Yella Boy's grandma's house.
Wow.
At 10:30 p.m., Baby and Slim roll up to the block.
Wow.
And there's Yella Boy on the corner with his shirt off, drooling, just waiting to put hands on Baby.
Wow.
Instantly, Baby hops out of the car and they start throwing hands in the middle of the street. Boom, boom, boom. They throw haymakers back and forth, but Yella's getting the best of him. So this is when Slim jumps in to try to break everything up. Nah, bruh, let him fight. Tech is not feeling this, so he grabs Slim and he tries to hold him back.
Whoa.
This is when Slim flails his arm back and smacks Tech in the mouth.
Whoa.
Oh, hell nah. Tech is pissed and he starts throwing punches at Slim.
Okay.
Slim tried to step in to break him up. And Tech, now he's on now.
Real story right
Stole
here.
off on Slim.
It turns into an all-out brawl in the middle of the street. UNLV versus Cash Money. Eventually, they all run out of stamina and it cools down. Now it's a silent, awkward situation, and everyone quietly goes their separate ways. This can result in one of two ways. Either the fight solved all the tensions and now they can all be cool and push it under the bridge, or they have to go to war with each other. And typically in the streets of New Orleans, the latter is going to take place. But no, Birdman actually calls the UNLV members and tells them to forget about it, everything is water under the bridge.
Still gotta watch that nigga.
So this stops everything from potentially getting violent, at least for the meantime. So long story short, directly after this, UNLV would drop their final album under Cash Money management. And of course the album does really well. So now the members are like, okay, are we gonna get a next contract or at least get paid?
UNLV was getting hot in the city, blowing up. And it was time to, I think, renew the contract or something. And Yellow was like, man, first of all, we hot, we blowing up, we want a nationwide deal.
Damn.
We tired of this local stuff. Baby like, man, you gotta be patient. See, Baby had money from the streets. So he good. Yellow, coming from the hood selling crack. So it's like, man, listen, we got some hot song. It's time to get us a big deal.
As it turns out, it was really not water under the bridge, because Baby would not sign them under any circumstance.
Damn.
So UNLV are like, all right, bruh, it is what it is. We'll just do this on our own. So this is when the group decides to start their own label, UNLV Records. And in order to do this, they hire some lawyers to put everything together. Well, when the lawyers go through their Cash Money documents, they're like, something ain't right. Cash Money owes you guys a lot of money. You were only paid a fraction of what you deserved.
That's when, you know, we went to discovering, like, damn, you know, everything we done had this and, you know, had that, and ain't nothing without in our name. So that's when the attorneys came in.
Lil Ya on Yellow Boy shooting up Birdman house of a royalty dispute. They gotta tap into that. What in the fuck?
Bruh. And shit like that. And we found out that, you know, we had some unpaid royalties.
And of course, once the members are shown this, they're extra pissed. Like, firstly, you refused to re-sign us even though we were your first success on your label, but on top of this, you owe us a boatload of money? Oh, nah. Instantly, Yellow Boy wants to do something vicious to Birdman, but the other members are like, chill. If you do that, we'll never get our money. On top of this, the lawyers ensure them that they're gonna take Cash Money to court and that they will get them their money. So UNLV's lawyers take Cash Money to court, and at this point, Baby has no choice but to pay up. So this is exactly what Baby does, and we'll get to that in a minute. But what's important now is that 2 of the members actually believe that it was an honest mistake on Baby's behalf.
You know, I don't know how clear to put it, but they didn't know what they was doing. So, you know, I can't say that they straight got us. They played us, because if they did, they would have made sure that the I's was dotted while they was doing it.
So for 2 of the members, Tech 9 and Lil Ya, they were all good with it. Just give us our money and we'll go our separate ways. So this is when Baby calls them, tells them to drop the lawsuit, and says, I've got your money here. Just come get your checks.
Woo. That's when you gotta send somebody, bro. Come get my check. You can't mail it to me? I don't, you know what I'm saying? Nigga just put a pause on you, bro. Like, nigga just put a pause on your older brother, bro. Like, you can't mail it to me? You can't, the nigga can't even put your address. Nigga gonna show up shooting that bitch up. Goddamn.
So instantly, 2 of the UNLV members head over to Birdman's Eastover estate. They knock on the door, he opens up, he hands them their checks, they read it, it's all good, no funny business. And after handing them their checks, Baby's like, hey, where's Yellow Boy? This is when they tell him that Yellow Boy doesn't want to come see you, and he'd rather you hand us the check and then we'll give it to him. Baby is not feeling this. Nah, bruh. If he wants his check, he's gonna come get it from me. So the 2 UNLV members are like, cool, sounds fair enough to me, and they go off and cash their checks.
Yellow wasn't there to get it. Baby wouldn't release it with us. He told us to tell Yellow to come get his check.
Per usual, it's yet another power struggle between Baby and Yellow Boy. When Yellow finds out that Baby wouldn't give the check to his fellow members to deliver to him, he's pissed.
And he like, man, where y'all at? And I told him, he was like, man, what Baby them at? I said, call him, he looking for you to get your paper. Y'all was already burnt up. Y'all was like, why the fuck you ain't give it to y'all for me? You know, went off, you know what I'm saying?
Instead of...
That's where they gotta be real friends. Like, hey, bro, he wanna talk to you, man. The man, he had you out, bro. Ain't no funny shit going on, bro. We having real check. We having real motion. Nigga gonna get that shit.
Mature and just going to get his money, Yella makes the dumbest decision possible. He does head to Baby's Eastover estate, but not to collect any checks. Instead, he pulls up to the gated community.
Bro, you ain't even paid, bro. What is we doing? This is real crash out behavior, bro. That's what's be wrong with these young niggas, bro. They possibly having crash out genetics. Should be passed on.
The chopper and unloads into Baby's house and into his car. Brrrah. He absolutely sprays Baby's property with bullets.
Some angry shit, you know, he was pissed off, something went on with him and Baby. And he went shot up the house in the car. Yella shot Baby house and car up.
Jesus.
Thankfully, no one was home, but either way, this was a major deal. Shooting up Baby's house of all people in the world, man, especially when he's trying to give you your money. Well, needless to say, when Baby would get home later that night, he'd see it, and he instantly knew what it was.
That boy said, emo, he was happy to rip that motherfucker. He said, oh, money saved.
Was one step too far for Yellow Boy.
Probably took that check
and that fast forwards us just 3 days. April 5th, 1997. It's a fun day for Cash Money as they have a concert in the small city of Lafayette, Louisiana, just a couple hours away. At this point, they've got Lilwayne, Juvenile, Turk, BG, and they're just the hottest thing.
Them boys had the goddamn all-star team, ain't it?
South. So for this event, all of Cash Money pop out, including their biggest stepper, Terrence Gangsta Williams. Well, maybe not all of Cash Money would come, and you'll see why I say that. So while this concert is going on,
Hey,
Yellow
biggest
Boy's at his
stepper.
grandma's house on 4th and Dryads. He's sitting on the couch, watching TV, and probably regretting the decision he made. Like, if I
Duh.
would have just went to go grab my check, I wouldn't be at my grandma's house right now.
Duh. Now there's real smoke on you, boy. You shot at the CEO house up in New Orleans. The CEO in New Orleans. You shot his house up. You think ain't got no smoke coming with that, boy? And you ain't collect your money, stupid man. I just don't get the decision.
Well, at 11 p.m., he gets a mysterious knock on the door. He looks through the people, recognizes who it is, so he opens up and lets the man in. From there, he and the unknown man sit on the couch, and that's when the man whips out. Just like that, a New Orleans legend is gone with the wind. The tragic loss of a former Cash Money artist. Who could have done this? Well, to this day, nobody's been arrested for this,
Shit,
and
I
there's
ain't
no
gonna lie,
proof to
nobody
point in
knows.
any direction. But there is a clue in the form of a song. Baby would release a song called What Happened to That Boy, and a lot of people believe that he's talking about Yellow Boy. What happened to that boy? We'll never
for
truly
real.
know if the song's about Yellow Boy, but what we do know is that Yellow Boy didn't really have
I mean, shit. That's a valid point. I mean, goddamn, what happened to that boy? He probably really wanted to know. Genuinely concerned. In a bragging, boasting form. You know, that's all that nigga know. The nigga got about 10 chains on his neck before the shit was popular.
with anyone else.
I didn't hear about Yellow beefing with nobody during the time, you know what I'm saying? Nobody,
Facts.
the streets wasn't saying none of this shit during the time of it, so.
Whether or not Baby's the one who ordered the hit on Yellow Boy, we'll never know. But even if we assume that that's the case, is Yellow Boy really a victim of surviving Birdman?
Surviving himself. To be honest, you should.
I mean, he kind of left him no other choice. You shot up his house and his car. I mean, what if somebody was in there? But whether or not Baby is justified in allegedly doing this is not actually my biggest point here. An important topic to remember from this is bad business practices and Baby allegedly finessing his artists.
So remember that, boy?
Well, sadly, Yellow Boy would.
That's not the message. Don't react off impulse, man. Just because you upset, you angry. It's very okay to be upset and angry, but don't react off impulse. If you got money on the flow, don't walk past it because you're mad. Go get your money. Be mad after you got it. But money is very important. It's your very living. Now you stand in your grandma's house, fucked up. They know where you stay at, fucked up. Sending niggas to your door, bro. This shit wouldn't happen. You picked up your check and shut the fuck up. Nah, bro.
Be the only former Cash Money artist to fall out with
R.I.P.,
Baby and
bro.
lose their life. Well, now we carry over to a widely forgotten piece of the Cash Money puzzle, their original artist, Kilo G. Now, Kilo's career never panned out, but some people feel like it really wasn't his fault. And when I say some people,
moved to
I
New
really
York.
mean him himself. Kilo felt abandoned by Baby. Like, once he found his next artist, he completely put him on the shelf and never talked to him again.
That's what
Now, it's
happened.
objectively true that when Baby found better artists, he put Kilo on the shelf and focused on them,
That's what
which
happened.
is really the only smart thing to do. But Kilo still felt like he sold him a dream full of empty promises. Now,
Probably
at the end of
did.
the day, business is business, but when you're dealing with New Orleans, these dudes have a crabs in a bucket mentality. In the city, a lot of people blame their own failures on others, and when other people start doing better, they begin hating on them. So put yourself in Kilo's shoes. You were Cash Money's very first artist, and quickly everyone else passed you up,
That
started
boy said it's time to kill some. I hope he ain't lead to that route, man. We all brothers, man. We all should get along, bro. Don't let money divide. That shit ain't nothing but a piece of paper.
being lavish, and you're still in the hood. And because of this, word got around the streets of New Orleans that Kilo was speaking bad on Baby and starting all kinds of rumors.
Probably
Fuck
was.
Cash Money, y'all did me dirty.
But you just gotta, man. You just gotta
Even though
move
these
on.
words in the grand scheme mean absolutely nothing, Baby does not like being talked about. January 15th,
Not in the
1998.
90s.
It's a random Wednesday afternoon, and a 20-year-old Kilo G is at his mom's house in the
Damn,
7th Ward.
20.
And this is when he's paid a visit.
Damn.
So Kilo gets up and looks through the peephole. He recognizes the man at the door, so he lets him in. And when he turns his back to go sit on the couch, sadly, the man whips out.
Damn. RP.
Now, the targeting of Kilo could have been anything, as it is New Orleans at the end of the day. And on top of this, there is no proof that Baby or Cash Money had anything to do with it. However, the way it happened is awfully similar to Never mind. I'm a journalist, not a police officer. Let me stay in my lane. But either way, it is notable that two of Cash Money's very first artists were murdered after getting into it with Birdman.
That's crazy. He owed the money, bro. Nigga goddamn signed the dud. He thought his shit happened. He probably coming for the next nigga, bro. It's like Final Destination, boy. You better look out. First two niggas drop, nigga. Who the third nigga? I'm out. I'm moving out the goddamn state.
Now this begs the major question. Do you believe that Kilo G is a victim of surviving Birdman, all because
I'm gonna tell you this. I don't fucking know, gang. How about that?
he started some rumors and was talking shit? So now after covering these
Could've
two
been,
important
I don't know.
losses, we shift the video's focus to something completely different.
Nigga, this a
And that takes
superstar,
us to
boy.
the other side of
Ain't no
Uptown,
ordinary
specifically
star.
Holly Grove, also known as the 17th Ward. Here's where a boy named Dwayne Jr. was born in 1982 to Hasida and Dwayne Carter Sr. Hasida was just 19 years old at Dwayne's birth, and sadly, the couple had no money. And to make matters worse, just a year after Dwayne's birth, Dwayne Sr. would divorce his wife and move to a different state.
Damn.
This sadly left Jasita in the hood with no money and to raise her son alone. This left her no choice but to pick up jobs as a maid and a cook in order to make ends meet. It was definitely a struggle, but then out of nowhere, a major blessing would come into their lives. A blessing in the form of a new boyfriend, a man who would change her life and her son's forever. This would be a man named Reginald McDonald, but commonly known as Rabbit. Rabbit, kind of like Baby, is known as a legend in his hood, specifically the Goose, located in New Orleans East. Here, Rabbit is a well-known hustler, known for always having a bankroll. Well, during Wayne's childhood, Rabbit actually stepped up as a real father and took care of him on a day-to-day basis.
Shout out to
This
Rabbit.
entailed teaching a young Wayne how to write raps and to rap on beats as well. You see, also kind of like Baby, Rabbit was a hustler because he had to be, but his true passion was music. He always wanted to start a record label. And once he discovered his stepson's natural talent, he was like, oh my god, we got action. And because of this, he nicknamed him Lil Tune, which even catches on to this day. Well, long story short, the point is that Rabbit taught him music early on and had dreams of one day building a career for him.
Okay.
He even started a record label called Buff Records and
These
knew
niggas
that
was
Wayne
getting
was going to
money.
be a star. Okay, so now let's get back to the plot. We fast forward back to the year
Shout out to the
1993,
93.
and a young Dwayne is now 10 years old. And on this particular day, he's at a family gathering and he begins rapping for everyone. Well, at the gathering happens to be Cash Money Bounce artist Michael Pettis, and let's just say that he's blown away by Dwayne's rapping.
Man, this little boy can rap, you hear me?
He's stunned by the 10-year-old's talent, and without saying a word, he leaves the gathering and drives straight to Baby's house.
Yeah, scouts.
Yo, Baby, this might sound crazy,
But I just heard the best 10-year-old rapper I've ever heard in my life.
now, of course, Baby hears 10-year-old boy and gets all excited. I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, Baby is intrigued and he's like, please bring him to me. So instantly, Michael returns to the family gathering and he walks right up to Dwayne's mom.
Hey, you
He says,
can't even lie,
excuse me,
though.
is it okay if I bring your son?
You can't even lie though. Baby made Lil Wayne rich as a motherfucker, boy. You can say what you want to say about they personal shit, boy, but that nigga rich as hell.
Baby at Cash Money Records?
Oh, hell nah. Absolutely not.
Now, usually a mother would be geeked to let her son meet a millionaire CEO for an opportunity, but not in this case at all. You see, Jasita went to school with Baby's big brother Slim her whole life, and she knew what they were all about. I am not gonna let my son be corrupted by these bad dudes. He's good at home with me and his dad Rabbit. Let me reiterate, there is zero chance that my son will be around this evil man.
His parents went to school with my brother and sister. Honestly, when he was young, I met him.
That is a whole mob boss, brother. He be talking about some gangster shit so subtle. He probably knocked their ass off. We ain't gonna say that.
Another guy named Lil Slim. But when he was young, his mama didn't want him around.
Not only was she worried about what he could do to her son, but she also felt like we don't need his help. Like Rabbit already has a music label and his own money. The fuck do we need Baby for? So for the short meantime, they did their
Damn.
absolute best to keep their young son away from Baby.
Damn.
But then comes 1994, and a now 11-year-old Wayne has a mind of his own. He knew that Baby was rich and
That is some crazy shit. Cause Wayne, the Birdman was calling Wayne his son. Goddamn. What the fuck?
famous, and he kept begging Michael to please bring me to him. And eventually, Michael would give in. Behind Jasita and Rabbit's back, Michael would bring a young Dwayne to Baby. And let's just say an 11-year-old Wayne was in complete awe. The cars, the money, the mansion, and
Oh,
a
yeah, he
beautiful
fucked
music
him up.
studio. And once he got his first glance at the lifestyle, it's all he ever wanted.
He just kept coming. He wanted it. He wanted the life.
This motherfucker think he slick, boy. He said, show him one time. Just show him one time what that motherfucker Bentley do. I bet he keep coming back. At 10 years old, 11 years old, shit, who fucking wouldn't?
And I just wanted to help him. Because I ain't want him to live my life. I just saw some young bro with some talent, and I thought I could help him.
Sure.
And that's what I did. I just saw some of the youngsters lost like I was at their age, and I wanted to see how I could bless them.
At first, everything is glitz and glamour. Dwayne's introduction to cash money was like a dream come true.
Facts.
But then, as Jacinto warned, things start to get downright evil. As we know from his little brother Terrence, Baby will take advantage of a young person's admiration for him, and he'll create a power dynamic where they'll literally do anything he says.
Damn.
And although he wouldn't make Wayne go spin a block and kill someone like he did Terrence, he would do something that might be as bad. And this isn't according to me, it's according to Wayne himself.
Wayne himself is crazy.
Now, because of guidelines and me not really wanting to get into this, I'm not going to go into full detail, but if you want to look this stuff up, you definitely can. But here's a video of Wayne talking about what Birdman made him go through.
I got when I was 11, Twist. I ain't never pressed charges. I'ma do you like Baby them did me. I'll never forget that day.
I already know a nigga put that pussy on him. He said, shit, throw that pussy on youngster right there. Gotta keep him coming back. That's why Wayne has a love and admiration for that cat. Boy, he hit that pussy one time, felt what it felt like. It was Murder, She Wrote.
They was all in the kitchen. I was scared. You don't understand. I was a different man after that. I was Lilwayne. After that.
Not lying.
Yeah.
He really telling me the truth.
Although he's talking about it in a joking manner, it's really not that at all. Think about it, being forced to lose your innocence by somebody that you revere and look up to, it has to be confusing, especially for an 11-year-old. But at this point, we know that it's all a part of Baby's tactics. He did it with Terrence, and now he's done it with Wayne. Creating a power dynamic where the child will feel compelled to do whatever he says for the rest of their life. Baby wanted ultimate control over Wayne, to the point where he started calling him his son, and then Wayne would call him daddy.
That's my son, man.
But here's the thing, Wayne already had a present father in Rabbit, and Rabbit already had his own record label, and for a long time he planned on signing Wayne. And this is the only reason why Wayne couldn't sign to Cash Money, at least for the meantime. July 20th, 1997. It's a late Friday night in New Orleans East, and Rabbit and his boys are outside partying. The night goes smoothly, and at 2 a.m. the bar closes, and Rabbit walks to his car. Then, two of his friends tell him that they're too drunk to drive, and they ask him for a ride home, which, of course, he agrees. So instead of driving home, he heads the opposite direction, headed to his friend's house in the 9th Ward. Well, on his way to dropping them off, he pulls over to get gas on Morrison Road, probably the most dangerous gas station you could ever stop at. He pulls into the gas pump, hops out, and this is when all hell breaks loose. Tragically, a man in a hoodie unloads at Rabbit.
Damn, RP Mr. Reg.
To this day, nobody knows who did this or why it happened. Some say that Rabbit crashed into the car in front of him, and then the man hopped out and crashed out on him.
Damn.
But others say that it was a planned attack, and somebody followed him to the gas station. But either way, the tragic loss was devastating. Jacinto lost her beloved husband and provider, and a young Dwayne lost his father.
Damn.
Now, there's no evidence to say that Baby had anything to do with this, and I'm not accusing him. But the truth of the matter is that after the passing of Rabbit, Baby would step up as Wayne's new father figure.
Which is crazy.
The now 14-year-old Dwayne had dropped out of school and was now a full-time rapper living with Baby. Now this begs a major...
Shout out to Baby, bro. That nigga moved that motherfucker in, bro. Shit crazy.
Question. Probably the biggest question of the story. Do you think that Baby put out a hit on Rabbit so we could have full control of Lilwayne?
I mean, shit, Shark got a motherfucker eat.
Well, after the passing of his father, Rabbit, Wayne would go ahead and spend all of his time with Cash Money. He became Baby's next biggest protege, but he also somehow became his son.
Alright, man, now we gonna stop it right there. You know what I'm saying? Just getting too motherfucking good. We gonna bring it to a part 2. You feel what I'm saying? But shit, so far, that's what we got on Birdman. I don't know, man. A lot of niggas ended up missing. A lot of niggas popped up dead, woke up dead. we'll never know how this motherfucking story it will go. But that is the video, man. That's just part 1. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do a part 2 of this motherfucker. No cap. But shit, let me know, man, how y'all feel about Birdman. Y'all feel like he's a genius, low-key? You feel like sharks gotta eat? You feel like this world is crooked and people gotta do what they gotta do to get ahead and get ahead of life? Tell me what you think about this so far. Do you think he's a good CEO, a great CEO? What do you think about his artists being gone? Like, so far, tell me how y'all feel about my boy. You know what I'm saying? What happened to that boy? You feel me? But I am the chill life of Zoe. Part 2 of the video will be coming very soon, so stay in tune. No cap. These my favorite glasses, you know what I'm saying? Got the Da Vinci's, probably the goddamn longest I done had them. But that is the video. If you stayed this long, man, I appreciate you, man. Real talk, all love. You feel me, you smell me. Other than that, man, I am out. See you next time around.